I'm Cullen, on the moderator team on phpBB.com. I'm just going to cover some of pitfalls or some suggestions about building your community. A lot of the discussions today have been about phpBB, the history, some of the code, some of where phpBB is going. This is more focused on your community. It isn't an end-all presentation. So we're going to have a Q&A session at the end so we can get your ideas. If we can go to the phpBB Liberty Evasion channel on Freenode, you're welcome to ask questions if you're watching this online. And never mind then. Fine. I'm trying to let people participate, but okay. So before you set up a site, really, what should you know? Okay, you should know why you're creating a site. If you create an Xbox forum, believe it or not, people have done that before. Really, it's true. Yes, Xbox.com has a forum. Not sure which software they use at the moment. Okay. Okay, but there are already several Xbox forums. So what is? So you need to know why you are creating your forum. What service is it going to provide? Know what you want in this forum. What do you expect people to come there for? Are you going to give out hints for games? Is this a forum for your clan, for your community that you play games with all the time? Is it for a club that you meet up with in real life? Why should people? Do you want a big fancy site that has all the bells and whistles? Or does it just need to be something simple, something that you'll only need 2 forums to discuss maybe off-topic stuff and then stuff about what the site is about? Okay. A forum, just saying I want a forum is the completely wrong answer. If that's why you're creating a site, you might as well just stop now. Yeah. What makes it different? This is different. These images continue on. They get better. So who will be coming to your site? Will it be your friends that you play online with? Will it be people in real life? Will it be random strangers that you're hoping to attract? I like that image. Will it be this guy? Yeah. Maybe you're creating a site for sad clowns. If that is your audience, know your audience. Know who you want to be coming to your site. Why will they be coming? What reason that they would come to you instead of everybody else? Could be free candy from a rather unmarked van. How will people find your site? Okay, if you just put a website on the internet, Google won't magically drive people there. Okay? I mean, sure, Google is a very good source of traffic. If people search for forum software right now on Google, I believe phpBB.com is the very first result, or it's within the top 3. We're number 2.
Wikipedia is number 1.
Okay, that makes sense. Wikipedia. Okay, there is no map that will suddenly drive people to your site. So some ideas, don't spam your site, please. We don't appreciate on .com as moderators, and nobody else really does either. They'll just ignore it. It will drive people. It'll drive other spam bots to your site. And if you want a website with 500 posts of get cheap Viagra, feel free. Some things that you can do is use signature and website fields. I have gone around on .com and actually clicked on some of these websites that I found interesting. Buy ads if appropriate. If this is a commercial website, you can drive people there via advertising. But targeted campaigns will get you more visitors than just a blanket advertisement on Google. Facebook, for example, you can target to specific users. Find other websites that are related to what you're talking about, like hosting websites. Come to phpBB.com to advertise. Find appropriate advertising venues that will drive legitimate traffic. There's a topic in the GD forum right now. I have a link there. I'll be posting these online. Doesn't help at the moment. That's discussing how do you bring users to your site. I'd really recommend going there, checking it out. There have been some really good suggestions. This has been a very, very, very brief overview. How will your site be organized? Every once in a while you see users on phpBB.com that intend to have 200 forums, one for every single college or every single major at their college, I can guarantee that will fail. And I think most people here can agree that that will fail. You need to have a good organizational, oh, I thought that was in a different order. You need to have a good organizational structure thought out before you start your site so that people will know where to post, they won't get confused, and you don't have extraneous forums that just look empty in your site overall. You might have enough users to fill up 2 forums, but when you have 20, it just looks empty and barren. Are there any legal issues with your site? Are there any privacy concerns? Could possibly a legal group come after you for hopefully not copyright infringement? Don't do that. It's bad, kids. But would anybody possibly come after you for legal reasons? How many people do you expect? If you're meeting in real life, and this is for a club that you have, you might know exactly how many people are in the club, how many people might be joining, so you can prepare your site for that. But if you're trying to fill this niche that you think that exists out there on the internet, there's nothing else that really exists for people who really like sad clowns, maybe. You need to try and guess how many people you expect, and then how are you going to expand? Because hopefully your site's going to be expanding, depending on what your audience is, what the purpose is. Hopefully it will be expanding in the future, and how do you prepare for that? You might start out with 2 forums, but as you figure out that, okay, people are discussing this type of stuff, and I don't really have a place for it, figure out how you're going to separate out your site. That's lots of people. That's time. I had to find a Times Square picture since we were over here. So, but most importantly, why are people going to stay? Okay? Your site needs to have content and a reason for people to stay there. Because like with the Xbox forum, I can find tons of Call of Duty forums about the game Call of Duty. What makes yours special? Whether it can be a community that already exists that you play online with your clan or guild or whatever. It can be that you are bringing in original content that is helping people with a game, if you're going with the clan. You can bring people community for medical issues. It doesn't matter, but people need a reason to be coming back to your site. It doesn't have to be a forum. It can be something else that you integrate, but it has to be a reason. If you can't answer these, you failed. Before you've even started your site, you have already failed. It will be a failure. Figure them out. That's the best thing you can do. So I went really quickly through that in that red Ferrari earlier. So some tips about how to keep your site, once you've established your site, how to keep it going smoothly. So in terms of moderation, for example, I'm on the moderator team on phpBB.com, so I've done this before. That's a moderator. We actually have hammers that big. What? I'm not quite sure where that picture is. There is no one-size-fits-all approach to moderation. How I would moderate a gaming community is much different than the way that you would moderate a support forum or a forum where you're getting teens versus a forum that's more for an older audience. There really is no one-size-fits-all. So you need to prepare rules and guidelines for how you want your site to be run, but be flexible. If we banned every single person on phpBB.com that posted in the wrong forum or asked for recruiting advice, which are recruiting is against the phpBB.com rules, we would have nobody there. People would be driven away. So you need to be flexible and maybe send a PM, hey, this actually isn't allowed on our site, but can you just keep that in mind and we'll let it go? Flexible. Don't hide what you expect. On phpBB.com, I believe the forum homepage links to our rules page. We don't hide in the news section. In the general discussion forum, we have it right in sticky at the top of the forum. Here's what we kind of are looking for in this forum. We're not looking for, do you like cats or dogs better? We're looking for legitimate discussions that can provoke conversation, not just polls. So make sure users know the rules. I really liked this picture just because of the small sign that somebody put up next to it. You have hotel guests only, no animals in the pool area, and then unattended children will be sold as slaves. I don't know what to say. And know how to handle various situations. If you will encounter a huge assortment of situations when you're running a board. For anything from chihuahuas wearing toupees to, more seriously, spam. We get tons of spam on phpBB.com. We manage it by approving the first post that somebody makes. Assuming that's a spammer, their first post is probably going to be spam. We can catch it right away. And for legitimate users, we approve their post in a couple hours, and then everything, the rest of their posts, it's fine. We know how to handle spam. Competitor advertisements. Every once in a while, you'll get a competitor coming by, hey, come visit my site, it's really cool. We get that on phpBB.com every once in a while. Okay? We have some guidelines on how to handle it. Profanity. We don't allow profanity. But on your forum, you might want to allow profanity, depending on the audience. So know what sort of profanity you're going to allow, for example. And then if someone is profane in a way that you don't, your community shouldn't have, know how to, whether you're going to remove it, how you're going to handle that situation. Flame wars. If people start arguing, how are you going to split up the discussion so it doesn't expand and doesn't tear your community apart? What's next?
I just contribute.
Can I get this at the end?
Okay, sure.
Okay. Forum games. On phpBB.com, in general discussion forum, we've had a few people that want to do the let's count to 1 million type of game, which in general, it doesn't really contribute any content. It might be kind of fun for those users that want to participate, but it really kind of makes phpBB.com look like, oh, these people aren't serious. And we're having fun, but it's not, we're not little kids. We don't need to try and count up to 1 million. Yes, I'm sorry for whoever said that, obnoxious avatars and signatures. What guidelines are you going to have for avatars and signatures? Are you going to allow animated images, which phpBB.com does not? How are you going to handle the signatures? Are you going to remove them right away? Are you going to send a notice and give them a little bit of warning? Hey, this is against our rules. Can you please remove it? If it's not removed in a few hours, we'll remove it for you. What's next? Banned users returning. If someone causes a problem, you eventually ban them, and they come back, create a new account, how are you going to handle that? Are you going to, what measures are you going to put in place, maybe temporarily, maybe permanently, to try and make sure that user doesn't come back? This is a really hard one because with the proxy servers, it's really hard to block these accounts from just continually being made. But if you can discourage them, make it not worth their time to continually make accounts, eventually they will go away. Criticism of your site. We get that on phpBB.com too often. I'll leave it at that. So how are you going to handle that so your own community doesn't turn against you and it doesn't seem like you're just ganging up on the people that are criticizing your site? Know how you're going to handle those situations. Escalating complaints. We also have this. I don't like the way that this user doesn't like the way that I locked their topic and linked them to the rules. So how are they going to step up to my supervisor, Prime Domain, Florian, so that he can handle the situation? How is he planning on handling it? What's the chain of command? Legal threats. I covered this a little bit earlier, but if you have a clip of a video of a TV show that you think is funny that you put on your forum, and the MPAA or whatever your local copyright group comes after you, how are you going to respond to that? Okay, are you planning on fighting it? Do you have legal counsel, depending on your site? Depending on the type of legal threat, is it really a legit legal threat? Do you need to take it seriously? Okay, and then sharks with freaking laser beams on their heads. What are you going to do if they start invading? So this isn't exhaustive, of course. There are plenty of other situations. This is just what I could think of in an hour, approximately.